Excuse me. Hello YouTube. It's your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing the latest Walking Dead episode we've watched. This is the 4th episode of season 11. I mean, we're getting this show wrapped up, getting the final storyline going with the Reapers. And so yeah, here we go. So the plot, the critical reception, and then I'm going to be editing and posting a Evil Dead review like the original movie. I watched that yesterday. Not in its full entirety, but I got the gist. So, let's just say that. So, getting in the plot. So, in the woods, Daryl flees the Reaper attack with Dog. A Reaper tries to stop him, throwing Dog down a hill, but Daryl fights them off. I mean, this really pisses off Daryl, obviously, because it's fucking Dog. Like, don't touch him, you asshole. Like, another Reaper stops their companions from attacking Daryl, allowing him to escape. They're like, yeah, let's just hold off on this guy. The following morning, Daryl finds Dog sitting next to a Reaper, who reveals herself to be Leah, Daryl's former romantic partner and Dog's former owner, which is obviously why Dog is sitting there with her. Leah asks Daryl if he is with Maggie's group, because before, she knew him as, a lone guy, like a lone wolf traveling in the woods by himself. Daryl lies and says he only bumped into them on the road, but Leah is unconvinced. It's kind of fucked up, because this is the girl you used to love, and you're, lying. But maybe it's to save your own ass, I don't know. Daryl tries to take Dog and leave, but Dog refuses to leave Leah's side as a part of Reapers, or as a group of Reapers surround them. Like, no, you're not getting my fucking Dog. Like, you took him before, you're not getting him again. So there you have it. Daryl is taken to Meridian and tied to a chair in a shed. Meridian is where, the Reapers pretty much stay and hide out. Daryl confides to Leah that he came back and looked everywhere for her before Leah puts him unconscious. She's not buying any of it. She doesn't want to fucking hear shit from you, Daryl. Daryl soon wakes up, gasping for air, as Reapers waterboard him for information about Maggie's group. You're gonna tell us some shit, bro. He insists that he has no family and was only briefly part of Maggie's group. So he keeps kind of, twisting the truth. He's like, oh, okay, I was a part of their group for a little bit, but it was unimportant. I guess kind of what he's trying to say. Nonetheless, they continue to torture him until Leah orders them to stop. She's had enough. This is a man she loves, Daryl is locked in a nearby cell where Frost is also imprisoned, who was a part of Maggie's group before, I believe. Daryl sticks to his story, pretending not to care about Maggie's group when Frost asks. Leah again orders Daryl to surrender any information lest he face the wrath of her leader, Pope. So Pope is this kind of military sergeant style character. I don't think we've really gotten this drill sergeant type of character in the show before. At Pope's quarters, Leah learns that another Reaper, Michael, was found dead, probably got killed by someone in Maggie's group. Leah returns to Daryl's cell as Frost is taken away for interrogation and confides her grief over Michael, who she saw as a younger brother. She's kind of sharing her emotions with Daryl. She still cares about him, deep down. Daryl again says that he returned to her cabin to be with her, but she wasn't there. You left. What do you want me to do? Sorry. Leah admits she still has feelings for Daryl, who says he would help her if he could, and claims he is telling the truth about not being a part of Maggie's group. So obviously not. He's telling the truth, but yeah. Daryl offers vague details, claiming that a woman is leading the group with a tall, skinny guy and a priest carrying a shotgun. Obviously, referencing Negan, referencing Gabriel, and yeah. Daryl also tells Leah that the group spoke in code around him because he was an outsider, and that they were meeting up with 3 dozen of their fighters. They have quite a bit of people. He's trying to kind of warn them that. Satisfied, Leah reports back to Pope and convinces Pope to let Daryl join them. This guy can be a part of our group. I trust him. I'm part of the group, and I believe he can be a part of the group too. So, take my word for it, that sort of thing. So that night, Daryl and Leah are left alone in the interrogation room, only to be locked inside. The shed is set on fire, and the room is engulfed in flames. So this is pretty much a test for Daryl to see if he can help Leah out, how much they care for each other. And yeah. Daryl is able to break through a window and helps Leah out of the burning room and follows her to safety outside, where they find all of the Reapers gathered. And so now they realize, okay, this was a setup, Pope, impressed that Daryl not only escaped but saved Leah before himself, welcomes Daryl into the group. Yeah, you're a selfless person. I mean, it's only because it's fucking Leah, though. You know what I mean? In his quarters, Pope explains how the Reapers are veterans traumatized during the war in Afghanistan. So this is a really cool story, actually. It's a really cool, like, origin story for this group. Struggling to cope with civilian life after finishing their deployment, they became mercenaries until society fell. So yeah, these people like weren't really normal before the apocalypse, and that's like the first time we've heard of something like this in the series. After the fall, the politicians who hired them tried to exterminate them in a fire, but they survived, believing to be chosen by God. So yeah, they are like a religious group at the same time. They're kind of fucked up people, and they're very like aggressive and all this stuff, but they still have some faith in them, you know? Later, around a campfire, Pope accuses a Reaper of abandoning Michael in battle and throws him into the open fire, holding him down until he burns to death. And this is pretty much seen as like a message towards Daryl, like, hey, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't have sympathy for fucking assholes like this guy, you know. So, getting into the review, this episode was okay. I got a 67%, a 6.8 out of 10, 12 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Daryl is an involving tour guide through The Walking Dead's final batch of antagonists, although Rendition won't convince the skeptics that the Reapers are much different than the murderous militias who have plagued the series before. Yeah, they have some interesting details about them, but what makes them different about, like, the Saviors or, like, the cannibal people earlier on in the show, the governor's people. I got a 4 out of 5 on Den of Geek. Toy's direction, the performance of Regis and Collins and their scenes together were great. Obviously, Leah and Daryl have a really good dynamic on this show. Nicole Morante Matthews walks a fine line in these moments, with Daryl and Leah pushing at one another without losing that core connection. The development of the Reaper's backstory was really fucking cool. I'm not really sure where the writers are going with this, though. I doubt The Walking Dead will define the Reaper's religious affiliations beyond them being on a mission from God. Like, how faithful can these people really be? I'm much more worried about how bad the concept of the Reapers could break if the show isn't careful with it. Like, it's a very fragile, like, storyline. There's a very repetitive nature of this storyline. It's kind of like Daryl's arc with the Claimers and the show's 4th season. It's really much like that, and that's not a good thing. What the season lacks so far, at least, is any sense of true danger or high stakes. This is the final season of the entire show, but it feels altogether safe. Safe in ways the earlier seasons never felt. Whatever tension we stumble across is too contrived and predictable to matter much. So, yeah, there's not really a lot on the line. Like, characters kind of go through the motions. Like, Daryl, like, yeah, he was... Like, he was never, like, he was threatened by the group, and they had a battle, and a couple people died, sure. But none of the larger characters are really facing morality. Like, none of them are really doing that. So, I don't know. I don't think this show is too bad. I'm a little bit more interested in Dexter, which I'm actually going to be watching here in a little bit. It is what it is. I mean, this show definitely has its flaws. It's really hard for a show to be consistent through 11 seasons, so I guess I can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. And I mean, I guess we haven't really, like, given this show a chance to kind of progress the storyline of season 11, but as of now, it's looking a bit shaky. It's not looking like something that can really lift the show on its feet for a final season. Oh, leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been GZTV, reviewing your favorite TV shows. We do movies. We're getting ready to review the original Evil Dead movie, so that'll be awesome. Even though, I don't know, I have some iffy feelings on that movie. I'll get into it, though.